can I say, this is the first time I've been to Brian's setup, so it's new to me. So when I go through with Brian, obviously it'll be news to me. Now Brian was in the Woolling Hall Club probably 3 or 4 years ago. He went out of the sport, but he's come back in the sport. And just before we talk about the pigeons, can we just look, we're in a fairly built-up area. One of his main problems is those buildings there, which is approximately about probably 6 or 7 yards away from his loft. And Brian has said if he has birds land on there, he disposes with them particular birds. They must land on his loft. Right, Brian, you've come back in the sport. Can I say whose birds have you got? Obviously we can see birds in the trap. Can you just tell me about them particular birds?
Well, some are brown and white, with the two blue badges.
Yes.
The black ones with the back badges, and the local Astons, and rock with the front Sheffield.
Oh no, off Martin, yes.
Martin, so. And the breeders were from there, the Astons also.
So, again, we're looking at birds what originally are from Colin Bristow, and they've been acquired through Michael Aston, which Brian has got now. There's 2 badges up there, Brian, which I think have fled 20 hours for Brian White. Sadly, Brian White at this moment is no longer in the sport, but he's fled some brilliant times. And so what you're planning to do, Brian, is to put the Brian White badges in with your own badges. I'm with you. So, and how many birds? Now, can I say, are those birds broke in?
No.
So, you're going to break those in this year? Well, I've got to say to you, Brian, that in exemplary condition. So, obviously, those will have to be broke down. So, you'll probably break those in after what? After Christmas. After Christmas. So, hopefully, we'll have some cold weather.
That's right.
And then you'll break your pigeons down, and hopefully, but they do look in really good nick.
Molting out, so you're going to best out.
Yeah. But they do seem to almost finish the mount, actually. That black one there, whose bird is that one?
That's off Mickey Aston's 18.5 hour end.
Yes.
He took an Aston with it. And it's off Colin's black cock.
Yes.
I think I done this one.
Yeah. So again, that's another world. Would you say that if you breed blacks and if you break them, would you say you've got a problem in the dark with them? Not really. You can see them all right in the dark.
Well, my pet goes, you're
I'm with you. So you're happy with them, that colour, as long as I can do the business. Oh, yes. Your droppers, I must say, like you'll probably find, besides this one and Ashley's, it'll probably be the smallest guardian, as we'll see, where Tipplers have flown. But again, they work the lofts to the guardian. Here, Brian, we have the dropper.
Dropper shed.
Shed, which how many? About a dozen droppers?
Well, I'm going to have 16 originally.
Yeah.
We'll be 16, that's why it's parted in 2.
Yeah.
I'll have 8 hens one side, 8 hens, 8 cocks the other side. So when I fly the cocks, I'll loose the cocks out. When I fly the hens, I'll loose hens out.
Now, that is...
no way then they'll be to each other or nothing.
That is the first time I've been in the game as I've been told that. Here we have 2 sections, a section of cocks and a section of hens, droppers, and Brian has just said to me, as when he flies hens, only the hens will be loosed out, and vice versa with the cocks. And I've never heard that before. So we all learn all the while, because Brian doesn't want the droppers to tread his tipplers.
But also, there, that way as well, when you're breaking your young ones in, you've got 2 kids to play with.
And again, yes, I agree with that. You don't knock them about too much. But
one's breaking, one's rested.
Yes, most of the flies probably have more droppers than that. But again, if you rest them and work them, so they're both, it doesn't knock them about. Right, Brian, can we look at your breeding section? His breeding section here is Approximately 8 foot by 6 with how many boxes in there, Brian?
6 boxes.
With 6 pairs. So obviously Brian won't be a big breeder of pigeons. He'll keep to his select probably 6 or 7 pairs.
That's right.
Which now you say those are for flying.
All flyers.
Will you probably breed off those?
Oh, eventually.
Eventually. Right, now can we just look at the breeding side of it?
Yep.
And you won't see many lofts with a leaded lighting either, and that's Brian's speciality.
You're played.
Right, Brian, this is the breeding side of your loft. Obviously, we've got to stand here because it isn't a large breeding size, but it'll probably do you 6 pairs, and that's the reason why we're here. We can't get inside, but if you look inside, you can see he's got his box perches, his V perches there on his box, his bite. He's got a very good feeding arrangement with a box here, which slides out. I've never seen that before. It's right by the window, so, and it's most hygienic, to be quite honest with you. They can't get in there, and that's a first for me. It does the job, Brian, for you. Obviously you've got to work with what you've got. You use silver sand on the floor, Brian. You clean out what once?
Well, this idea, this would be like once a month. This.
Yeah, about once a month.
Well, it's average.
I'm with you.
Maybe just
And obviously this section is completely shut off from the rest of the
yes, right.
of the loft. Right, Brian, can we go and now look at the flying boxes?
And also these here.
These here are they spare, Brian?
These are spare. I can use it which is 8. Some droppers in there.
Yeah, you can put your droppers in there.
Run the eggs.
Yeah.
Run the eggs.
Yeah.
That's why all I need is 6 spare.
It's
So by running the eggs.
another arrow in your bow, Brian, isn't
That's
it?
Oh.
It's you can play there
That's right.
either with, if you want to run eggs, which is a good idea. Although you've only got 6 pair, if you double up on the eggs
That's right.
and use droppers, obviously you'll get more youngsters.
Correct.
Yeah, good idea. And again, it's a separate section.
Separate section.
Good. Now, can we just go and look at the flying section of it?
Things.
Right, Brian. These obviously are your flying section.
These here. These are flyers.
Yes. And these are your stock birds, are they, Brian?
These are just the stock beds here.
And as you can see, I can see they're mostly black badges, which obviously look a family to me. They're all of the same.
That's one there. It's a blue cock. Breed off that one.
That's what you've bred on. Yes.
I'm breeding off that one. And this is a black cock I'm breeding off as well.
Yes. On these particular birds here, I presume these are hens.
That's an hen.
Yeah.
That's an hen. I'm not sure about one.
Yeah. Well,
it looks like.
Yeah. It looks an hen. Yeah. Can I ask what you've got under here, Brian?
Nothing.
Nothing. It's just.
That's just blocked off, course.
It's just blocked off.
Once I have my operation, no way I can bend down.
I'm with you. So this,
No, that's
the pen's been designed for everything from probably waist onwards.
up.
Yeah, which is a good idea. Again, we're going back to where we used to dig and dive, and as you get older,
You don't want it.
obviously you try to eliminate that. What I like, Brian, again it's a first for me, is to see the curtain in front of the door. If you look at that, you can see that that's a good thing. If the door's open, it keeps the flies out. A very good idea. And also, can we look at the trap? Can you just open that trap there? It isn't a trap where it's a large one. It's probably about 7 inches wide, but it still does the job. It opens like that. And do you find your birds,
No.
Brian, goes from here
straight in.
right in on the same
Reverse,
when they
yeah.
come in? And do you find they go in their own boxes?
No. You always find out that's something up the top here.
I'm with you, and then you sort
I
them
can
out
sort
from
them out
there.
to put them
I'm with you.
But when I fly them, I make sure they're mould in these.
Yeah,
The top.
I'm with you.
So also
It's
to the top.
your Your flying section is slightly bigger than your breeding section, would you say?
9 foot.
This is 9 foot compared to 8 foot in there, so there's not much difference in it. But it's a good setup. It's immaculate, may I say to you. Your floor again is immaculate. That's
Cushion floor, Forge.
that's cushion floor, Michael. That's what we have in the UK. We don't have it often, but sometimes you get it in a loft, and Brian has got it in his loft. Right, Brian, can I just have a look here? Again, this is
Woman seats.
this are his seats.
One's circle.
Brian's one of those lads. He's got to have everything uniform. He doesn't have it wishy-washy. It's got to be right. Can I ask? Is that your medicine box?
Medicine box.
Again, not as big as Texas, but again, he's got his drinking bowls in there, look. His mask in case there's any problems with pigeon dust. And basically, the general welfare of the pigeons is stored in there. His feeders.
See them? Them used to come up here. So by reversing them.
Yeah. Brian has designed this particular feeder. And it just flicks over it. Simplicity in itself.
No way they can knock it over or anything.
It can't be knocked over, which again, that's another thing what Brian likes to sit down and design.
And also the perches. No way can they mess on them perches.
And that's a grid section. That perch again is free from any drop-ins, and he can just pick up the grid. Again, that to me is unusual.
Like this.
As you can see, this is that particular grid, and there's no way does that move, and there's no way can any drop-ins get on there, and it goes through the grid. And again, there's paper underneath which it just pulls out. It's if you've got a program of cleaning them out regular, which obviously you do, Brian, there's no problem, and he's even got his own waste bins. How many waste bins do you see in a loft? Well, gentlemen, you've just seen one today. And he's got his own drop-in bags. Whether he's got a stretcher around the back, I don't know. But he's well kitted out. Well, Brian, many thanks for us coming to your lofts.
No problem.
It's a credit to you, and we look forward to you flying with us
Yes, I'm going to.
next year. Many thanks again, Brian.